Michael Burry makes a new grand bet. Once again, the master contrarian investor Michael Burry, who made $800 million from the 2008 housing market collapse, is shocking the masses with a new massive and strange bet that he predicts will make him a massive fortune in the next few years. Today, we will unveil Michael Burry's tactics and dive deep into his new bet and the reasons behind it. If you want to stay in the loop and secure your investments and financial future, keep watching and do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Is Michael Burry a genius and hero? First, let's clarify something important. Burry is not a saint or savior. Contrary to what you saw in The Big Short movie and in so many social media articles and posts, he is not an average all-American genius, but rather an exceptionally intelligent and aggressive stock trader who capitalizes on and profits from bubble bursts and corporate stock decline. The reason they call him a contrarian is not just because he swims against the currents of the stock market, but also because he is superior at shorting stocks. In 2005, Burry predicted based on solid research and analysis that the U.S. subprime mortgage market is heading for a catastrophe, so he made a bet against America's subprime market at the peak of the housing boom. In 2005, Burry predicted based on solid research and analysis that the U.S. subprime mortgage market is heading for a catastrophe, so he made a bet against America's subprime market at the peak of the housing boom. The entire 2008 economic collapse is to be blamed on bad practices by the big banks, weaknesses in the Feds, and the lack of government oversight and proper regulations. All that led to catastrophic events of millions of people losing everything, including their homes, cars, jobs, families, savings, and pensions. As for Michael Burry, he earned his name as an expert investor, having success repeatedly, making correct market predictions time after time. Recently, he predicted a market crash of more than 50% from a price peak. In the middle of February 2021, Michael said, "The market is dancing on a knife's edge." His market crash prediction is based on the overprinting of fiat currencies, broken supply chains, and worldwide macroeconomic weakness after the mismanagement of market economies worldwide. He also thinks that part of the problem is a general shift of assets from funds managed actively towards passive index funds that he prefers to refer to as passive investing's IQ drain. Heading into the second quarter of 2022, Michael Burry had a pretty big stock portfolio. He owned about $19 million in Booking, BKNG, $18 million in Alphabet, Google, Goog, and $18 million in Meta, among various other multi-million-dollar positions. He sold those positions in Q2, all of them. Currently, his investment fund called Scion Capital owns one and only stock, and everybody is keen to know what his new bet is. What company did he invest in 2022? So, this leads us to the important question: where did he place his new big bet? The answer is GEO Group, which is a private prisons and mental health institutions corporate giant. George Zoley founded GEO in 1984. 90% of its operations are in the USA, and the remaining 10% are spread in Australia, Britain, and South Africa. It technically has only one competitor in the USA, which is Core Civic, based in Nashville. The company doesn't just operate prisons. It also conducts other related activities, such as the electronic monitoring of convicts wearing ankle bracelets. Believe it or not, GEO Group was exempt from paying corporate tax because it was structured as a real estate investment trust. However, at the end of 2021, it changed its status to that of a normal corporation. In recent years, detaining migrants on behalf of the U.S. government has been a rapidly growing business for GEO Group. In fact, as of early 2021, 8 out of 10 people in ICE custody were detained at private prisons such as GEO's Moshannon Valley Correctional Facility. GEO Group's 2021 annual report lists ICE, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, as its single largest customer, responsible for a quarter of its revenue. Ironically, if what Burry says will happen did happen, his prisons will get a new influx of highly profitable customers, all paid for with public tax dollars. Here is an interesting fact. 1 in every 100 Americans is currently in jail. That is approximately 3.2 million prisoners and detainees, not including ICE undocumented migrant detainees. Each prisoner costs the system approximately $55 per day. So Burry is literally betting that the U.S. government is willing to invest hundreds of billions of dollars on expanding enforcement agencies such as the IRS and ICE, among others, which it already has, to double and even triple the number of its citizens in prison as the economic situation deteriorates in the next few years at the cost of $55 and up per inmate per day. Why? Merely because it cannot fix the economy. What is making Burry see red? Now, let's take a look at what is making Michael Burry see red. Number 1. Inflation that won't subside despite the ongoing efforts by the Feds to tackle it by buying back bonds and mainly by raising the interest rate. The USA inflation is still rising and has reached a 40-year high. Number 2. Personal or consumer debt. It is at an all-time high since World War II and has exceeded 100% of the national GDP. Personal debt is considered bad debt. It is not mortgages and business loans, but rather the debt people accumulate to purchase needs such as food. Number 3. Businesses offering products with zero down payment after an extended period of time at very low interest rates. It is almost as if they are giving away free stuff. Number 4. Personal savings levels are at an all-time low. People simply no longer save money nor have sufficient savings to outwind a recession. Number 5. High levels of non-productive debt, meaning people are taking business-related loans that are not producing income. This one is also evident in the mortgage market, where more and more rental properties are not generating income or profits from leasing and resale transactions. Number 6. Home prices and rental rates are going down simultaneously, which is a strong sign of a possible housing market crash. Number 7. A stock market that has declined 18% since the beginning of the year. It is an economic fact that once a stock market loses 25% of its value within months, it means that a recession has begun. Once it hits a 50% decline, it means depression is in effect. Keep in mind that factors such as unemployment and inflation rates affect the severity and longevity of a recession or depression. Number 8. Decline in manufacturing jobs. Businesses are taking fewer risks with expansion via debt. The cost of equipment and machinery is rising faster than manufacturers can increase prices to accommodate rising costs. Corporate debt in America is also going through the roof. Burry has been betting that solid giants like Tesla are heading for a crash due to excessive reliance on debt. Number 9. Rise in both business and personal bankruptcies, meaning that borrowers no longer have the money that is listed as an asset on the lender's asset sheet. This means that the money has vanished not just once, but as many times as it has been passed from one lender to another. For example, from the central bank to large commercial banks, to small commercial banks, to small credit unions or online lenders, to customers who borrowed the money or product on an installment plan. Number 10. Sharp increase in crime rate, poverty level, homelessness, and budget cuts at both the federal and state levels, while the national debt is at an all-time high and is expected to exceed $31 trillion in the next few months. Number 11. The federal government is still dealing with the crisis by printing more money, not to mention is paying nearly $700 billion in interest per year on its national debt. That's about a quarter of the entire federal annual budget. Number 12. The percentage of assets owned by the population is not only declining, but is also distributed in an extreme manner in which less than 10% of the population owns as much as 95% of all assets of value. Is Burry right? This leads us to wonder if Michael Burry is right and if the USA is heading for a depression and civil unrest that will dramatically increase the private prison population. This, of course, remains to be seen. Some experts mean, no, he is not right. The US is only heading for a standard cyclical recession. USA is the world's #1 military and economic superpower and owns more than 30% of all assets of value on the face of the planet. They also mean that the Biden administration began rolling out infrastructure-related spending about a year ago. A $1.2 trillion bill was passed and is allocated for the creation of infrastructure-related jobs across all states. Such a move hints that the administration will be rolling out more public works-related stimulus plans that are focused on creating jobs. Such mobilization during economic harsh times is common across the globe. Other experts mean that economic collapse is inevitably coming. And Burry is right warning about awful recession, soaring unemployment, and dramatically increasing crime rates. Let's wait and see. Michael Burry is a legend. He's an unequivocal genius and a master of financial analysis. And he's definitely someone you should always listen to when markets are crashing. So, that's all for today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and if you found it helpful, please give it a like and also share it with your friends. Please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive notifications of the latest uploads on our channel for more great content. We will be back with another amazing video.